I'm going to actually just be digging this rhizome out so I can collect some of the host root tissue as I'm sampling this. So I have to kind of give myself a lot of room. Fortunately in sand it's very easy to dig around it. I just want to make sure I don't break any root connections from the host plant. It's likely to be on this Bloombos, which is the rhizomes are usually fairly deep into the sand dune, so it's always important to kind of feel my way around to find out where it is. Yeah, oh, look at that beautiful rhizome. Oh, isn't that gorgeous? So there's part of a dead stem that's woody, so that's not the host plant. I have to dig far enough around it so that I don't break all of the host root connections. And I want to give myself as much rhizome as I can. Did you dig through this when you were looking at it last year?
No, I didn't go very deep.
You just pulled out the top?
Yeah.
There's a lot of biomass in the ground.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I was going to do too much damage or...
No, there's, like I said, there's so much biomass in the rhizomes fracture really easily, and so I think vegetative propagation is probably important. And as the sand dune actually piles on top of it, I'm sure that this is important too for its growth. In fact, I think I'll just go ahead and excavate this one too while I'm at it. I bet these are the same plant. Oh, there's the old one.
What made you decide to specialize in a plant that's on the other side of the globe?
Well, when I was a postdoc, I was working on the loss of photosynthesis in parasitic plants. And one of the more interesting groups of plants turned out to be a clade of plants from South Africa in the Hyobanche. And when I started to do a little bit of research about them, I found out that nobody had ever done the taxonomy or the systematics. And so there was very little known about the biology of the plant, and I became very interested in that because I've always wanted to work in South Africa because it's kind of a botanical mecca. It's a biodiversity hotspot. It has about 1% of the land surface of the planet, but 10% of the biodiversity. And so it was an opportunity to actually start working here. And it was just at the end of apartheid. Up until '94, Western botanists weren't allowed to work here. So I wanted to take the opportunity to get my feet in here, and this was a good project to start on. And I've had several students now working in South Africa. I'm breaking all the host root connections here from the host itself, and I'm trying to make sure I do not break it off from the Hyobanche rhizome. That's beautiful. Beautiful. I feel like a gopher sometimes though. I'm trying to get this out. Okay, I just broke the rhizome. I don't know if you can actually get along in here, but there's a lot of little fine roots that are on the rhizome itself, and those are host root attachments. And so what I must do now is to sample those roots and put them in separate collecting envelopes so I can see, do some DNA sequencing and identify exactly what it's connected to. So this is a little bit tricky, so I'll just put that one aside for now. I'll go for this one. Same thing.
So are they species specific in terms of their host?
Actually, what I have found is that they tend to be attached to multiple hosts at the same time. See here, this has a lot of different colored roots on there. So it's likely that it's mostly a Elytropappus, this Bloombos, but it could be other things. So I'm going to actually sample each of those roots, and we'll do the DNA extractions and get those up. Now I'm really interested in this little dead one here, the one that's older, to see what's going on inside this rhizome. If it's like in past years, it may have a grub or some ants in there, and I'm really kind of intrigued by that. So the swelling here, I'll have to cut into it, but I suspect that there may be maybe some ants inside there, and it's going to take me some careful dissecting back at the guest house so I don't actually destroy it. I'm going to have to just slice it down the middle. But it does have, again, some nice host root connections, and so I'll collect those as well. Okay, that's the dirty work. So this Hyobanche actually is crawling with ants, and I have a feeling that these are harvester ants of some sort or another. I don't know if I can actually get one close enough to record it, but they're talking to each other and signaling and the whole bit. But they are currently right on the inflorescence, and there's one, oh wow, there's a couple sitting right in here. Just underneath the flower bracts. It looks like it's maybe chewing on the stem. So I think what happens is that they actually eat into the capsules with the developing seeds, and they carry the seeds down into their nest. And I think some species actually probably build a nest inside the stem. I've collected several of these old inflorescences out on the sand dunes that, you know, you touch them and they fall apart, and you cut them open and there's an ant colony inside. So I'm hoping to find out more about that this trip. Okay, so I'm back at the guest house, and I need to process my specimens. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here. I thought I had here this line. First thing I have to do is actually label my specimens, and so I've got to fill in my field notebook. So this is going to be specimen 1365. And today's date is 20th of September 2010. And this is Hyobanche, a new species, so I'm just going to call it species Novo sand dune. And that was Nordhook Beach with Louis Liebenberg, I think was his name. Berg. And it was in the sand dunes. I guess it was the fore dune again. With Bloombos, or I think that's Elytropappus. I still have to look that up. So all of my specimens are going to be 1365. I've already put those samples onto a silica gel here, so I just need to label them. And one of these envelopes actually has a few of the ants I collected off of one of the pieces, so I just need to go for the one that is sandy. That's fun. One of these is full of sand, but it's that one. So I'm just going to label that 1365 ants. This is 1365-1, 1365-2, 1365-3, -4. So I had 5 individuals that I was able to collect some leaf tissue from. And so I'm just going to put this back into the silica gel now. And hopefully those will dry straight away. Okay, so the fun part is actually processing the specimens. Most of this I'm going to have to just stick in the refrigerator until I have a chance to put my plant press together. But I want to take the host root tissue off there, so that's what I'm going to do now.